Hi, Leo. Welcome to your June 2024 reading. This is Green Adventuring Tarot, and I'm Gigi. I'm so happy you're here, Leo. And remember, these are general readings, and if it resonates, it's meant for you. All right, I've been meditating on your cards, Leo. Oh my gosh. I just decided before I started meditating that I was going to do a ancestor reading for you, okay? And so this card deck is called the Beloved Dead deck, and it's absolutely stunning. So this is an all oracle deck, and I'd really like to do our reading with this. And I will get some assistance from other cards, but I want to start off with this. And I meditated on your message here, Leo. It's pretty remarkable. It really looks like, let's start here, Leo. It looks like for June, the ancestors are coming through and they have some messages for you, okay? And this has to do with your ancestors and your tribe. There's something that's going on in your family, or your created family. It doesn't have to be family of origin, it could be either way. The people that you have known for many years, your tribe, there's a message here from your ancestors about this energy. The reason why they wanted to come through is I think they wanted to share with you their experience with whatever you're going through right now. All right. And so underneath that tribe card, what's supporting that is the sovereign card. And this card is all about power. What is what I tell you it is. This is all about how most of the world operated for millennia, until recently, until people had more voting power. So this is all about following rule systems, following through with ideologies, the stories we tell our ancestors told and we tell ourselves that create who we are from our family of origin or our tribes. Okay, so this is really interesting. This is saying that there is a message that you have always known. And then as we roll into June, this has something to do with connecting families. So we have the we already talked about tribe. We have the time card. And with the time card, what I feel about that is it's time. It's time for you to get to know a new way of thinking. It's time for you to take time for yourself. I think knowing this new knowledge, you may have just found out about something about that your ancestors have shared with you through books or ancestry.com, or maybe letters you came across, possessions from departed ones, something like that. It's really reminding you that it's time for you to take charge of something. Okay, that's what I'm feeling here. And I think this had a lot to do with marriage, with a connection. So I think it could have been parents, grandparents, great grandparents, could have been someone in your family, and it had something to do with this alliance. It could be an alliance between two families, but this Evermore card is really telling me there was a connection there, okay? And it's something that they are coming through to say this connection, and that it's time that you sort of learn something about this connection. All right. And then we have the player card. And this is really interesting. Everybody's got stories like this in their families, of course. But the player is definitely, gambler, drinker, somebody who liked to, do what they wanted to do. They didn't necessarily live by the rules of their time. They really liked to kind of take the shortcut with whatever they were doing. So this image is coming through, and I think there's a connection with this family, with this player card. And I feel like these two, this energy, this alliance of two families, or a marriage or a connection, this connection was all about keeping up appearances. So I think in time you have indeed learned, you've gotten behind the appearances, and you have learned here about this character. Yes, you have. So it has something to do with family history, and it has something to do with learning the truth and kind of learning more of the nuances of stories that you were told about the tribe. Okay. And then as you round out the month, it looks like through this research or through this internal work, or maybe asking your elders, whatever it is, documentation, internet searching, whatever, traveling to the origins of where they came from. Through this work, you really do kind of have a great sense of peace and understanding. This is the act of love, and it's the as is card. And it shows her meditating, this beautiful sort of woman in prayer, like an angel. And what I love, like a statue almost energy, what I love about that is I think you come to the conclusion after learning something that it is what it is. You know what I mean? You come to sort of some internal peace around it. It's almost like you found it out, you examined it, and you realized that that's okay, and it was like you were grateful that you were able to learn that. That's what I'm feeling. Yes. And then ultimately, as we round out the month, we have the act of love, forgiveness, and faith. So look at that imagery. Isn't that beautiful? So I feel like through this knowledge, this newfound knowledge, you really come to the conclusion and you have a great deal of forgiveness and faith. So I think, people are human no matter what era they lived in. But the reason why the ancestors are coming through, I think there's three different reasons. The first reason is there may be something in your life that is reflecting this, and they want you to know that you're not alone, and they support you and love you. So if you're going through something like this, where you found out someone wasn't who they said, who you thought they were, and appearances had sort of put the what's the word, put the story shoved it under the rug, and you've exposed it to sunlight and cleaned it out and learned the truth, they could be telling you that because of that. That's the first reason. The second reason is that this may be part of your own personal development. You may be wanting to learn this because you always felt with your intuitive nature that something was off. And so now you can sort of ease into this feeling of, you know what? I'm not crazy. I knew there was something, just not, somebody wasn't quite telling me the full truth. And so now you can have peace knowing that you found out. Okay. And then the third reason, I think it's also really important to know that we're not alone and that these things are important, and it's better to know the whole truth rather than walking around with just the appearances of like how we're supposed to be, and living in truth of how we really are. And I think those are the three reasons why they're coming through today for you for June. And so this may be something that might be new for you. It might be something that you kind of scratched the surface, and maybe in June you had time to sort of dip into that and learn more. But whatever it is, it's just beautiful, Leo. Wow, you really are learning some interesting things. But let's get some clarification from Spirit. Spirit, can you please help us with the Sovereign card, please? Can you please give us some background on that for Leo, please? Okay. All right, and it's the grave. Okay, so these people took it to their grave. They did not want to share this knowledge of the different players, whatever they were up to. And can we get more information on why Leo is learning this right now? It's time. It's time for them to learn. Can you give us more help on that, please? On why is it time now? Okay. And the card is driver. Okay, so you're the catalyst. You're the one that's driving this knowledge. I don't think it would have been uncovered if you hadn't done the work or asked more questions. Yes. And then Spirit, can you please give us some guidance on the Evermore, on the the couple here, the alliance. Okay. Teacher. All right. So you were taught something that wasn't necessary. You felt when you were taught this sort of family story, you were taught something that you didn't feel was authentic. Yeah. And you wanted to drive past that, and now it's time. So now you have time. You're doing this for self-care, self-knowledge, maybe for your own children to learn the truth. And now you're driving forward with this new knowledge. Yes. And then Spirit, please give us some guidance on the player energy, please. Okay. All right, absence. All right, so this player was absent from the story, and maybe you discovered who they were, and it was so shocking. You were like, how come we have never heard of this? This person's been erased from the story. How come we haven't heard of them? Yes, okay. And then Spirit, can you please help us with the appearance card? Okay. Survive. All right. So I think your ancestors wanted to survive and thrive in the era in which they lived, and they did not want to expose this truth because, you know, back then appearances were very important, even more so than now, and so that was their way of survival. Okay, so this could be this family secret. This person, they did want to literally erase him from that, and now the world is different, and you can do that without it having a huge societal effect on your family of origin, etc. And then can you give us a last message on the forgiveness and faith and the letting it go and knowing that it is what it is? Can you please give us? Okay. Hardship. Yeah. I think this has opened your heart up to understanding what they went through, and they weren't doing it to be deceptive, though it was. They're doing it for survival. Yes. And so you're learning compassion with other people's hardships. Yeah. And you're learning to forgive. Yeah. So you were given knowledge that wasn't true, and you're forgiving that, and you're letting it be as it is now that you've shined the light on this. Wow. That is really amazing, Leo. Well, Spirit, please give us an overriding message, please, for Leo. Okay, 2 cards. All right, let's do 2 cards for Leo. We're going to do 2 messages for you, Leo, okay? And the first card is Diamond Heart Seed Crystal, Golden Age Wisdom, DNA Activations, Lumaria, and Priestess Awakening. Wow, look at that with the dolphins. Beautiful. So what I'm hearing from this card is that this is not only going to change your view of where you came from, but this is also a DNA activation for you. This is part of your priestess awakening or your priest awakening. This is part of your spiritual awakening by learning this lineage and learning where you're at in the scheme of things. That's beautiful. Beautiful. And then Spirit, one more card, please, for Leo. Okay. And the card is Candle Quartz and Bleeding Heart Flower. And it says, show yourself vulnerability, self-worth, and feminine healing. Wow. So you really are learning not only to forgive that lineage, but you're learning to activate a whole new way of being in the world. So someday when someone tells your story, you have healed your family line and you've allowed yourself to be vulnerable, which they maybe didn't have the luxury of doing at that time. And now you can clean up some karma in your family line with this beautiful Candle Quartz and Bleeding Heart Flower. And you can show your real authentic self and share this story by showing your authentic family self as well. Oh, that is beautiful, Leo. Wow. All right, dear Leo. Well, thank you for allowing me to do something a little bit different. I really appreciate that, Leo. And have a beautiful June. All right, dear Leo. Sending you the best.